brush teeth at drinks while batting? We'll discuss this and a lot more cricket superstitions on episode 46 of the Kingsgrove Sports Centre Podcast. Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Kingsgrove Sports Centre Podcast. As I said, we're going to talk cricket superstitions today. Yeah. So obviously we're a funny bunch, us cricketers, and we do some weird things. And to discuss all this with me today, I am once again joined by the elite panel of Hamish Solomons. Hello.
Hello, Stuart.
How are you?
Good, Stuart.
You well?
I'm happy to be back at Kingsgrove.
Actually, good to see you in the flesh.
Is this the first time in
It's the first time
in a long
since
time.
COVID that we've had everyone in the same room.
How good's that?
First time.
Yeah, we quarantined. We each quarantined in a bubble for 14 days.
Back at the hashtag Cricketers Kingdom,
That's
Kingsgrove
right.
Sports Centre.
And of course, joining us again for a second episode, Lisa Johns. Welcome. How are we?
Hey, I'm very well. Excited to be back.
Good to see
Exciting
you.
topic.
Oh, great topic. But hang on, don't jump ahead, Hamish. I've got to. Can't forget the man in the corner.
It's been done so many times.
That gets us going. That pushes the buttons, plays the music. Nick, how are we?
Thanks,
Welcome.
doing well. And I'm very happy with all the wonderful research and stuff you guys have also done and contributed toward this topic about crazy cricket superstitions. I'm very excited to hear the discussion this morning.
I think this is going to be very interesting for an American to listen to us talk about some
I'm
crazy.
I'm interested to see what the Yank can bring to the discussion here.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, they're a crazy bunch, those Americans.
True. Well, yeah. Maybe there
I'm-
might be some correlation to baseball.
Yeah,
perhaps.
I'm thinking there's got to be some.
Yeah.
Well, don't get your hopes up too much with me, but we'll cross that bridge later, I guess.
All right. Right. Cricket superstitions, as you said. We're a weird bunch. Should we get to that one first? Should we save that for a bit later? Because I was going to ask you, or you too. Obviously, cricketers playing cricket. Did you have any superstitions?
Lisa, I think you better kick us off with this one. My one we'll leave for a little bit later in the show because it does involve underpants.
Oh.
You can't lead with underpants.
Don't.
You got to tease the
Don't
other
bring the gold out early.
Otherwise, a whole heap of parents and children might just switch off before we get this thing rolling.
Awesome.
Oh dear.
Look, I had to think about this and I thought, I don't know that I really do have a superstition. I do have a bit of a quirk. I'm a bit more of a bowler than I am a batter. And I really like to, and I'm walking back to my mark, I like to have received the ball from mid-off before I turn.
Right.
To start my run-up.
Yeah.
And if I don't get the ball before I turn and I have to stop and I have to stand and face away from the batter, I get really cranky.
Someone gets a glare.
Yeah.
Someone gets at least a glare.
And
I've copped a few of those in my time.
I don't know that it's a superstition. I don't know if anything happens if it doesn't happen.
Well, that's we'll just interject. That's a good point. Can we establish maybe a baseline of what we're discussing? What does a superstition entail for us? Like, I would say that even a little tinge you get if something's not quite right, I would say that counts as a superstition personally.
So I think often like it's a habit that's formed, and then you'll relate it to playing well. And if you play well, then you've got to do it forever.
Right. That's the question I had is what's the difference between because cricket is a sport played. It's a weirdish sport if you think about it. There's lots of quirks to it, and it's played by even weirder people. So what's the difference between superstition and just quirky habits and routines?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? There's a lot of them. And some of these things that I'm looking at on the list, well, they look more like just weird routines rather than superstitions. I think a superstition is something that a cricketer somehow is hoping that the cricketing gods will look favourably down upon him and provide him with some sort of success and luck.
Well, I think some of these habits become like superstitious that if you don't do them, well, then you might as well just get in the car and go home.
Yeah,
totally.
And speaking of cars, as I continue to think through potentially my weird quirks, I realised that I like to drive the same route to the ground, our home ground, and if we don't, I accidentally did it one day, and our nemesis opposition beat us.
Oh.
So yeah.
And
go.
so,
Is that because you didn't take the correct route and ended up
That's
at the
right.
wrong ground?
No, I ended up at the right ground, but I went the wrong way, and
Right.
I just absent-mindedly didn't think about it,
Right.
and we lost the game.
Yeah.
So when you said you went the wrong way, like you're in a car accident because it was a one-way street. And
No.
Sorry.
Idiot.
He's really reaching.
I like to do this sort of stuff to Lisa, just to fire up for the remainder of the episode.
If you keep reaching that far this early in the morning, you're going to pull a muscle.
I'm getting
No.
But I think that illustrates kind of the thing, a
Yeah.
belief around action and luck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And outcome.
Well, the other thing is and with mine, it was more about, okay, I did something different and I had a good day, so I better continue this tradition,
Yes.
or superstition, because I believe that it's going to continue my success.
Yeah.
Until such time as you fail a few times and
then
you look
get
for
rid of it.
something.
You get rid of it.
You go clutching at different straws.
Yeah. Get a
But there
different
was
story.
as a young lad, pre-wife, pre-marriage, pre-relationship, I was in charge of my own laundry. Wasn't always pretty, and there were and I was at times a little on the slack side. So it came to this one time that I realised that I was down to my last pair of clean undies. And, it's like a batting order. You put your best undies first. So during the work week, especially if you're going out, you think, save my best undies for when you go out.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Just in case.
Just in case.
And
Like Mum said, just in case you get hit by a bus, you want to make sure that you're in.
That's what he's referring to.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
referring
yeah.
to
Well,
an
that's-
unfortunate-
That's what I
right.
would. Why? What were you thinking?
That's right.
I'm just saying,
I think he
that's
was thinking what I was thinking.
Oh,
Anyway, so I got down to my last undies and they were the oldest and they were pretty much already on their last legs. Faded, flayed. I think they might have been blue at one
Did they have
stage,
holes in
but
them, Did they have holes in them?
they were struggling, right? They were not even up for 12th man
I was
contention.
about to say they were a definite 11, but
the
sounds
elastic.
even worse.
The elastic was not. It's not.
Just,
was not elastic.
it wasn't pretty, and I thought, I've got no option. Because, if you don't have anything there, you're going to end up with bloody rashes and
No good.
chafe.
Yeah.
Too much information.
It can get nasty, right? So, lo and behold, I have one of my best days of cricket in these blue undies, which are already on their last legs, but these undies are being worn every Saturday from now on, to the point where it just got to the elastic was gone. I was having to pull them up after every delivery. Sometimes they were like lower than usual. They ended up like being a G-string. Right? But I got every last wear, and it was almost tragic when it was time. It was like there was not one day of cricket left in these underpants.
Weren't tempted to just red hanky it and put it in your pocket.
Oh boy.
Well, as we know, that's quite a solid
That's a
superstition
superstition.
from a couple of cricket people mainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I still have those undies tucked away in one of
You
those
framed it. You
one of
framed it.
those
That's
many
nice.
one of those many compartments
Oh,
that
in
you
your
have
kit.
in your cricket kit.
Right. Just in case you
You
need some
know,
luck at some
there's
stage.
the sort of compartment where if you're out of money, you go looking for
the random
what's in this
coins.
compartment, and you find the old $2 bill from 1987 or something like that.
I'm really glad you're bringing him for show and tell.
Just put 'em
But
on
anyway, it was a sad day.
And
But
in
it got
my
to the
pocket,
point.
I've got
It got to
And
the
here they are.
point. It got to the point where I just couldn't handle the chafe anymore. I couldn't
Just
handle
that's it.
having to. I should have been shining the ball, but instead I was trying to find my underpants down near my knees. And but look, to me, those underpants made me bowl
made you bowl
better.
better. Yeah.
And like I said, they might have. I felt they were lucky.
Did you get a duck the next day? You changed them?
It was more of a bowling thing. I was never surprised when I got a duck or failed with the
Right,
bat. So I didn't
right.
have a lot of batting
Batting
superstitions. And
More
like,
than bowling.
there's when I did my research, everyone's like, "Oh, I put my right
The
pad
pad
on
on
first."
first.
Is that a superstition or is just your habit? You know what I mean?
Well, again, depends.
I think it comes down to belief.
I think you got started as a superstition, and then
Yeah.
it becomes habit,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it becomes a superstition again. Because if
Yeah.
you don't do it,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old putting the pad on first, left, right, whatever the order you put it in is a very common one. I think even Red Mark War used to do the right pad first, and then then there's a number of weird.
Yeah, I suppose it comes down to the individual believing that if they do that, it will make them perform better.
Yeah.
What about a situation where, like, similarly to Mark War, he was quite famous for getting sleepy whilst waiting to bat due to nerves, heat, whatever
Adrenaline.
it is.
Yeah.
I had a similar situation, probably more due to lack of sleep preceding.
Yeah, yours is probably... Could yours have something to do with possibly the minimum 15 beers Friday night? As said by Scott H. Scott H.
It was a great one.
Scott H, I want to know what level of cricket Scott H is playing.
Intoxicated level.
My guess is it's not one of the higher ones.
Probably. No, but it could be like any a lot of grade cricketers, Shire cricketers, park cricketers.
Yeah,
that encapsulates a lot of cricketers.
And after 15 beers, I know how I'm marking out my run-up. There's going to be a definite, like, sort of substance at the top of the mark.
Okay, right. Yeah. Sorry, not asking. When the umpire asks, "Do you need a bowling marker?" You say, "No, sir."
Mine does involve my other one that I'm not. I'm a bit confused about. Whether this is a superstition that becomes a habit, then it becomes a chemical addiction. Right?
Red Bull.
Have I got you intrigued?
Yes.
Yes. So when at the advent of energy drinks, I thought, well, this could be a bit of a turnaround for my little issue with getting very sleepy whilst waiting to bat. So the first time I had an energy drink, just prior to going out to batting, I scored runs.
Right.
And that was
it.
That was a turnaround. Like, me scoring runs was a bit of a turnaround. So, sounds funny coming from a cricket coach, but anyway. Next thing you know...
Just giving the kids a bunch of Red Bull.
Next thing you know...
Just forget the fundamentals,
kids. There's the routine of going to the shop prior to the game, have my little energy drink prior to batting.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, the energy drink must be there for... any sort of number of important thing going on.
Superstition.
And next thing you know, you've got this like little addiction to it.
Superstition.
Is that a superstition?
Yeah.
Or is
That's a superstition.
It's funny how they grow. Yeah, like we've got someone who wrote in, they said they have to tape their right thumb or wrist because when they did it the first time, they didn't drop a catch, and now they haven't dropped a catch since. So
right.
Yeah.
I want that guy on my team.
Yes. I think it was a girl, Miss Georgia Elif.
Well, she needs to. If she doesn't drop catches anymore.
Yeah, but those things develop like that.
You do it once and then bang it.
Happen to do it, and then
So I'm still intrigued by my opening line.
Right.
How did this come about?
Who carries
brush teeth at drinks while batting? When did that first happen?
Yeah.
And why?
Or was he diagnosed with gingivitis?
This is RXNF 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that happen?
But it just goes to underline the fact that cricketers are a weird bunch.
Was he going out afterwards and thought, I better brush my teeth?
I don't know.
Maybe he had orthodontia and he needed.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
There had to be a situation for some silly reason he had to do it.
And he's gone out.
And the next thing you know...
He's peeled off 100.
His next shot was one of the great cover drives.
Of all time, yeah.
That's why I appreciate the comment, excuse me, Lisa mentioned about taping up their thumb and the wrist, because it also includes the origin story. Like, this is why I do this, and this is how it started. That was an interesting comment to get. We don't have the origin story of the brushing teeth.
No, I'd love to
thing,
know.
but I'd love to know what kicked that off.
Yeah.
I would also love to know why he originally took a toothbrush to cricket.
Yeah.
I'm thinking must have had a date afterwards. Going out from the ground.
He's taking no second chances.
Yeah.
Wonder if he had his...
Or he's a dentist. Maybe he's a dentist, and so he just brushes twice a day.
Just hope he had his lucky undies on.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, interesting. Just they're like weird things. What else have we got? You've got there's this guy here. He's obviously he likes to be very color coordinated because he says his pads and gloves should match the color of the bat that he's using.
Yeah.
That sounds like an expensive.
Could be,
So-
especially if
No,
they're changing.
the most expensive
Alex,
one.
Alex Proctor _23.
We don't mind those.
No,
sort
that's
of
fine.
guys,
That's
do
good.
we? At
The
Kingsgrove?
most expensive one I read was the person who wrote in they needed a new bat every year,
Yes.
and I thought, oh, hello, Kingsgrove Sports.
Yeah, to increase the 3.7.
Is that a superstition? Is that just another cricket tragic? We
Chris W,
do.
that's every. Yeah, that's most cricketers. Yeah,
We do cross paths with
Potentially
a
that
lot
was
of people like that.
tongue in
in
cheek
cheek,
from
yeah.
Chris W. But
possibly.
Yeah.
I think this is a common one. This you might relate to this too, Hamish. Not washing the whites if we win.
That's a common one.
Yeah.
I spoke to my cricket team and I said,
Sean M.
girls, what are your weird superstitions? I had no idea they did some of these things, but
Right.
yeah, one of the girls is that she doesn't really wash her socks if she's batting well. She'll use the same socks
Yeah.
throughout the season.
Oh,
Right.
no, I will. No, I like to wash the gear. Yeah,
No, and she does.
Yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
wash the gear.
I'm now starting to get a good idea of why the dressing rooms are so smelly.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, look, I can't buy into that one.
Yeah,
Even as a single guy that at one stage had to do his
You
own
like to be clean.
Was
his
hopeless.
washing.
Yeah,
I
I
did
can't.
like it. You did like to put on nice, clean whites. I tried best with the green stuff, the grass stains. And that's a whole entire episode on its own, is how to get grass stains
out of
cricket whites.
Yes.
That might have to come into one of the new segments coming up. But look, geez, that one concerns me a little bit, Lisa.
Yeah. It did concern the
Yeah.
rest of the team
I
when
did.
it was
Yeah.
announced.
Yeah. This one again, it's where does the weird stuff come from? So Ryan McKay's got must always mark centre and leg stump at one end,
Yeah.
then only mark centre at the other end.
Right.
Where's what was the go? What's the thought process behind that
Maybe
one?
he accidentally forgot one week.
Yeah, obviously.
And
Again,
it
just-
worked.
Well, to be truthful, I batted on centre, but I asked for leg stump because I always wanted to get it into the umpire's mind that I wasn't batting in front of my stump so much.
I just thought that's where you backed away to.
So he might be thinking, oh, there's always one good umpire, one dodgy umpire.
Possibly he's just picking. He's picking.
Shuey,
which one.
you're an interesting person. I'm keen to see whether you have any interesting superstitions that you think you follow. You're straight down the line.
No. The only sort of superstition that I've got is that I have to the strap of the pad.
Yep.
Has got to go. They're going to be on the inside.
Yep.
We most say you should wear the straps on the outside. No, I put them on the.
I was inside.
I put them on the inside.
I don't want the
Really?
ball flicking the pad strap.
No, that's down leg side. Yeah, so that's why they say to put it on the outside so that you don't. Because mine are on. Mine's on the. It's on the inside. So if there's overhang and so you could hit the inside edge on the overhang of the pad.
Oh, okay.
Schnick. No, but I tuck them in. Yeah, I just do it
Right.
backwards. Yeah.
Okay.
I also don't.
They're all coming out.
This is not. I wouldn't know this is a superstition, but it's just. I don't
Strange
like anything squeaking. So I don't like.
In general, or
Yeah, pretty much in general. Yeah. So I don't like the pads squeaking on the shoes. So I just got to wear longer pants, which is not hard for me because every pair of pants that is longer, so that I just wear them long.
So you wouldn't want to play cricket with me because my bones squeak a lot. these
The body squeaks a bit more these days. So so that's probably about it. Yeah. Sweatband.
Yeah.
Sweatband or arm guard these days.
But that kind of stuff, like we said before, that sounds to me more like a preference, like a comfort
Yeah.
preference, than it does necessarily a superstition.
Yeah.
Like none of that sounds to me like you think it's gonna negatively impact your play, other than feeling uncomfortable.
Chewing gum. Got to have chewing gum if you don't work out. Yeah, if you don't have chewing gum with a bat, then
Right.
that's.
Okay, so they're all
that's an
starting
issue.
to come out.
yeah,
There are probably
we've
one
gone
or-
from a level-headed bloke.
yeah.
Not much.
Yeah.
No,
there
not
are
really.
there's probably
and
a
we've
few
listed
things,
4.
but I don't have to Neil McKenzie and take my bat to the roof.
Right.
You heard about that story, Neil McKenzie, the South African
I think
cricketer.
Neil McKenzie's got a few.
Yeah.
A few.
Or
Interesting
even Steve Smith, the football socks, the taping the shoelaces to the sock
The
type thing,
headband.
the headband. Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
takes like. What's your
Jai
thought?
Surya, remember Jai Surya and his routines?
yeah.
He's
You have to
22
touch everything.
in a certain order.
So now, is that just routine that leads you to a point? We do this in cricket coaching. You have your routine so that you get to the point where you know you're actually watching the ball properly.
Yeah.
mental
Or are they
preparation.
superstitions?
But
See,
I'm guessing that's a superstition because a 22-step routine, I think, is a bit overcomplicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wouldn't be able to remember them.
Well,
exactly.
Exactly.
Well, and a friend I spoke to, she said she has a similar routine. She's got to tap so many things, and if she does it out of order, she's got to start again
Yeah.
when she's batting. So that there's a genuine belief
Yep.
that something's going to go wrong
Yep.
if the order of tapping is wrong.
Yeah.
We're flirting dangerously close to like obsessive compulsive disorder.
There
I
is a
think,
bit
with
of
some
that, yeah. I
these.
mean, so it's well,
You're
you
onto
know,
something there.
Again, with tapping, so it's 2 taps looking down, 2 taps looking up, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
What about the
There's lots of guys in here that have sort of said, you know, basically like dress left side first,
Yeah.
type thing, and
Yeah.
and that comes down to obviously it's a superstition, but it's a routine.
I'd be saying to
it's a
those
habit.
those people with the old left pad on first, your superstitions. Your superstitions. Your superstitions. They're superstitions. Your superstitions a bit stupid.
But what I mean, but Hamish,
It's boring, and everyone else is doing it. Go find a unique superstition.
But you're talking about routines.
Yeah.
You know, as a cricket coach,
Yeah.
you would say that some of these habits are good habits if it gets you into the correct frame of mind.
I say do what it takes. If it gets you to the point that when the bowler's about to come in, you switch back on and you're watching the ball as if your life depends on it.
Yeah.
There's definite grey area between a mental preparation thing
Yeah.
and habit,
Yep.
and then just absolutely ridiculous superstition to the point of obsessive compulsive, like Nick was mentioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think of my old mate David Shepherd,
Yeah.
who had to stand on one leg.
Yes.
This is one of the great ones.
This is a great superstition. Whenever the score was on 111,
Nelson?
200, Nelson's number, or a multiple of that, or
Yep.
222.
333.
For those playing at home don't know, David Shepherd, great umpire, English umpire. And whenever that score came up, he had to stand on one leg to counteract the bad luck.
Yeah. Also, and no disrespect to Shep, but he was a portly gentleman, so standing on one leg wasn't like always the most easiest of things, especially getting on
He did
in
teeter a
age.
bit. It was always interesting to watch.
He didn't want a maiden at 111
No.
or any of those numbers, did he? No, he wanted somebody to run quick.
I think he needed like something to help him, prop him up a little bit. And just,
Later on
the
in life,
square
at
leg,
some
the
stage.
square leg fielder.
I'm sure Dickie Bird had a few.
Dickie was just a bit quirky.
Yeah.
like full stop. I don't know if he had any routines.
But
per
it's
se,
that's
or
an interesting
superstition.
one that even the umps have got their little things going on.
Well,
weird.
there's also watching at home. So we got one from Elizabeth A, which I think is fairly universal for most people that are watching cricket. That if you're watching cricket and your side is generally probably batting most of the time, you can't move. You got to sit in the same seat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Can't go to the bathroom
Well, yes.
during an over.
Yeah.
You got to make the mad dash at the end of the over to be back in time for the first ball to be bowled.
Yeah.
Or the next over.
Yeah.
And there's a famous example of that. I think Terry Alderman in 1989, the pair out in the middle put on like 300 or something, and Alan Border was next in. And he got up to move seats. He was inside watching on TV, and he got up to move seats to go out into the pavilion to watch it live. And Terry Alderman physically just put him back in the seat.
Don't
and said,
move.
Do not
Don't
move.
move.
Yeah. No, that's a common.
I think
that's a common
so
thing.
the that famous Australia-England Test match,
Yep.
where Alan Border and Jeff Thompson were
Yes,
batting, came back the next day.
Yep.
Everybody had to sit in the same seats from the day before.
Yeah.
They couldn't.
It's
They
quite
couldn't
common.
move. Yeah.
That's a common one.
Even down to park cricket.
Tell me if this is a superstition. Back at where I played cricket for many, many years, St. George District Cricket Club, and I'm presuming this might be a similar situation at a lot of other cricket clubs, is your partner. Does your partner become a superstition or good luck? So, for instance...
Are you talking about batting partners or life partners?
life partners.
Uh-huh.
So, for instance, you're single, and all of a sudden you get into a relationship, and this is what we used to say. All right, this fella's in a relationship, and all of a sudden he's not. He's not scoring any runs. She hasn't got any runs in her. It's time to move on.
Right. Okay.
Adversely,
yeah.
New relationship. Next thing you know, he's knocking out
Hundreds
centuries.
of fun.
but he doesn't like a team. Like, for the sake of the team, do not break up with this girl.
You've got it at least last season.
For the first time in years, we're winning some games. You're scoring runs, which is an absolute fluke. So you need to just sort of hang in there. Is that superstitious, or is that? I think there's an element to it.
I'm not sure if you call that superstitious or something else.
Because there's a belief.
I'm trying to find the right word.
Yeah.
There's a belief that a partner has runs or luck in them.
I understand where you're coming from.
And that's the perfect person for you. If in fact,
it's the perfect person for the team.
If you wish to go further in cricket, you have to stay in this relationship until it stops working.
Speaking of love, I was, Harry and myself, our Sri Lankan heritage. We're a loving bunch.
Yeah.
Talk about bringing a bit of love into your superstitions. We had Malinga, who kisses the ball every ball, one day. It's like he's kissing the ball 60 times. Wouldn't go well in COVID times, obviously.
No, had to.
And then there was Mahanama.
Yeah.
Right? He used to kiss his bat handle.
Oh, really?
So the Sri Lankan superstitions, a little bit on the lovey-dovey side. But
that's different. Yeah.
Any other famous cricketers and their superstitions?
There was. I did a little bit of research, and there was a test match in Sydney when Sachin Tendulkar got his second highest ever score, and he went to the same restaurant 3 nights in a row, had the same dish at the same table because he believed that he was batting really well. Obviously, second highest test score. Worked out for him.
That typifies
Sachin.
Yep, that typifies the situation.
Yep. So there was, they need to have the same brekkie each week after playing well until bad game, then changing.
There you go.
Yeah, so that was SWG 06. Yeah. So sometimes that's, it's like, if you get up and you have pancakes for breakfast and you go and score runs, then it's pancakes every game day,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Was it one of the South African guys, I think Mackenzie again,
could have been.
Something to do with the toilet seat?
Oh, yes, you have to have all the seats up or something?
And if someone was on the toilet or coming out of the toilet or something to that effect, and he was going out to bat, that they had to either get off the toilet or on the toilet.
Or stay in there or something.
Stay in there and,
oh, man. Yeah.
One I came across, and I haven't noticed this, and you guys might have. Apparently Nathan Lyon, when he comes onto bowl, when he starts to spell, he has to rotate the Bales.
He does something with the Bales, doesn't he?
Yes, I think so. Yes,
at the start of his spell.
Yeah.
I've never noticed it. I'm going to have to keep an eye out for this. But apparently did a bit of research, and the Aussie boys is a bit of a weirdo, and he likes to twist the Bales around.
Are you allowed to touch the Bales during your professional game?
Was it Chandapur that used to mark centre with the Bale?
There's a few. That's apparently like I think it's a Guyana thing, because I think Sarwan did it as well. There's a couple of guys that would I don't know, that had something to do with the ground or something, but they used to mark it with the Bale. So I'm not sure that's superstitious or not, but just a quirky habit.
Just answering Nick's question, you can touch the Bale.
You can touch the Bale.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected that.
There's points that you shouldn't do it. Like, you shouldn't do it with the bat while batting. That's not a good idea.
You shouldn't let the ball do it.
Don't do it.
Right.
And you shouldn't let the ball do it while batting.
Sure.
That's
Actually,
a bad
don't think
thing.
I would like to do it. I might be a bit unlucky.
I think, for me, that's a bit unlucky if you're tinkering with something that could lead to your dismissal. You want those Bales on. In fact,
I'm leaving them on.
You know what I would do?
Yeah.
If I went back to playing cricket, my superstition involving the Bales would be maybe to put some chewing gum on
underneath.
them.
Well,
and chuck them back on.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
When batting.
That's,
Not when bowling, because that'd be...
Yeah, of course. That would be outside the laws, obviously.
That would, probably. It probably would be, yeah. Yeah. Or maybe, I don't know, if you follow a really big groove in it, would that help them not come out?
Yep.
Just ask for the heavy Bales.
Yes, heavy Bales.
Just
Just bring my own Bales out, put the heavy ones on.
Right. Now, we're going to start a new segment on these podcasts, Lisa.
Yes, Hamish.
Can I get you to just maybe give us a little introduction for it? Because, I can't talk about myself really.
Yeah.
But I'd like to finish off the show with the segment for the first time.
All right. Well, Hamish, you got to think about how would I describe the bloke? And I think
Describe Hamish.
Yeah. And
There's a lot of expletives that
for me, the word unique and Hamish go hand in hand. I mean, how else could you describe a flight radar watching, craft beer drinking, sunrise photo taking, Pink Floyd loving bloke? It's pretty unique. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we give you Hamish's unique 5.
Right, yes. Okay, so I had to think about superstitions. Maybe things that were cricketers maybe testing out some new superstitions, or their unconfirmed superstitions. Yep. Number 5, having lucky bookmaker.
Lucky bookmaker.
For instance, was it John?
John
Let's try this guy for a bit of luck. See if he brings us a bit of luck.
Okay.
Is that? Are we thinking of anybody in particular?
No, I think
don't point.
Possibly from another country.
It would appear that there's been quite a number of cricketers out there who have had their lucky
John the lucky bookmaker.
Okay.
Okay, that's number 5.
And there was a particular cricket player, one of the greats of the world, that I think his mum used to give him a lucky pill.
Only once, Hamish.
Only once.
Allegedly, only once.
So I think that might have been a cricketer sort of saying, well, I'm going to try this, see if it brings me any extra luck.
Just to reduce some fluid? Is that
yes.
what you're talking about?
And then there's the lucky colours. Is there a particular colour that brings you luck? Perhaps when it comes to altering the state of a cricket ball. Is yellow a lucky colour?
Yellow a lucky colour? Yeah, okay. Yep.
All right. And then I remember Dennis Lilly, the great Dennis Lilly, maybe things weren't going so I think he tried to start a new tradition by saying what would happen if he kicked the opposition batsman's pad.
Oh, I thought, wasn't it just he was just having a discussion with the umpire and saying if I hit this thing, maybe you could give it out?
For me, it seemed to come out of nowhere, and it was looked like he was trying to create a new superstition.
Okay.
But this one, for me, number 1 is the great one of someone trying out a new superstition to see if it would bring him any luck, and that was Shahid Afridi biting the cricket ball.
You think? Did you think he saw Malinga kiss the ball and thought?
You reckon he was taking his affections to the next level?
I can take this one step further.
Well, it really went beyond explanation at the time, and the only thing I can put it down to is perhaps he was after a new superstition. There's my number 1, and there's our first little episode. Hopefully, it gets better from here. Surely, it can only get better from here.
Well, I could. Well, they were unique.
They were unique.
Yeah, they were unique.
Top 5 unique unconfirmed superstitions.
Unconfirmed superstitions, or testing out of new superstitions.
Yeah, just to see if they work. I don't think many of them. They didn't do them again, did they?
I'm not playing. You're playing in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Give it a crack.
Can you try that one out? Can you try that
one out?
The biting of the ball. Let's see how it goes.
During COVID times, I don't reckon that'd go that well.
Yeah.
Although, actually, maybe it might work if we're going really badly.
Yeah.
And I want to change the ball, then maybe that might work.
To be, perhaps he was just hungry.
Could be.
To be truthful, I don't think COVID times or out of COVID times, that one's going to go well anyway.
Probably not going to fly.
Didn't go well for him.
No.
But look, at the end of the day, I think what we've discovered is that, we probably already knew that cricketers are a bunch of weirdos.
We're a unique bunch.
Proudly so.
Yeah.
Proudly so.
We're a unique bunch.
Well, you got a ton of unique superstitions to try out if you want to. We got tons of great comments from our listeners, so we appreciate all those. So make sure you're following us on social media. We're on Facebook at Kingsgrove Sports Centre, Instagram at Kingsgrove Sports, Twitter at Kingsgrove Sports. So when we prompt for discussions like this, we get your feedback through those channels. So make sure you're following us. If you want to comment and give us some feedback, use the hashtag KSC Podcast to get our attention. And, of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for joining us here in our studio on video. It's fun to watch us chat. But otherwise, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else that you're listening to podcasts.
All right.
Catch you later.
Thanks, guys.
Been a pleasure.
Lisa,
always a pleasure.
Thanks for coming in and stopping by. We'll catch you next time on the Kingsgrove Sports Centre Podcast.